Las Vegas Raiders at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are favored by 8.5. They're coming off that thrashing last week, 38-6 against the Ravens. And the Raiders coming off of a thrashing of their own against the Bears.
Thrashing.
Yes. Who's QB for the Raiders?
Damn good thrashing. Don't make it be Hoyer again. I just don't want to see it. I don't. We don't need to see Brian Hoyer in any more football games. And I don't mean for the Raiders. I mean forever.
You disagree with Greg that, he needs a few more reps in his development.
I just mean I don't feel like the world suffers if Brian Hoyer never steps foot on an NFL field again.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
Wow.
Do we need to see that? Is there not always a better option than Brian Hoyer?
This is like the Twitter/X equivalent of just delete your account.
You can still
turn in your NFLPA membership, Brian.
By all means, keep cashing the paycheck, right? And eat the meals at the facility and have fun.
Job.
And have fun in the meeting room. Just don't come on TV on the field and make me watch it. Aiden O'Connell is there, right? He's got a funny mustache and he's just out here slinging the ball around. That's comedy value, if nothing else. I want to see that more. And, you might have something in Aiden O'Connell going forward. You don't have anything in Brian Hoyer. Right?
Yeah, right.
Good.
You're kind of right there. Don't forget the splits that the Lions have at home. Jared Goff, statistically.
Well, he's MVP, outside of the Ravens game, basically.
We both took the Lions last week because they were good on the road 2 weeks ago against Tampa Bay, and they had played much better, but last week was a mess. Detroit's a much better team, though. That's why they're favored by 8.5 here.
Right, and it's a big, getting blown out like that was bad, but we've been talking a lot about the Lions. They are supposedly contenders this year, and at the very minimum, they're division favorites. They're likely a playoff team, barring catastrophe. And a lot of this has been about how do you shift the mentality in the building from, an underdog team that can shock some people to, no, you're the favorites every week, and you have a target on your back, and you need to embrace that, rise to the challenge, and win games that you're supposed to win. Like, that's part of being a really good team. And they've done that really well right up until that Baltimore game. In the Baltimore game, they get wrecked. And that happens to even very good teams. Almost every team, all bar two, in fact, in NFL history, have had at least one game on their schedule where they lose it, right? And part of that is, well, how do you then bounce back from that game that wasn't supposed to happen, right? You were not supposed to get just stomped by the Ravens. But it happened. It's one of those tapes you probably don't even watch that much because everything went wrong. Let's just throw it out and move on. But now you got to actually show that you can bounce back, and that was just an aberration, not, oh dear, we're not as good as we thought we were. So, this is a team to do it against, right? Like, you're supposed to destroy the Raiders.
And part of the reason why we started buying into the Lions is because they were doing that, right? They took it to Carolina,
but now they've had the setback.
They beat up on the Bucs. They've had a bit of a setback. I think they'll bounce back well here. One of the best matchups, maybe in the NFL, this entire season: Max Crosby against Penei Sewell.
Ooh,
that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
# fun to watch. Is there a chance Jimmy Garoppolo can come back here? If he comes back, the Raiders are they were playing before the Bears game. The Raiders had played sneaky well, right? So they were 3-3. Now they're 3-4. And again, I think they have enough pieces on offense to compete when they have someone at quarterback who's not turning it over and at least able to distribute, like Garoppolo can.
Mm-hmm.
So if Garoppolo plays, I think it's competitive. We can do some wit and wit out. If it's Hoyer or O'Connell, I think the Lions will crush the Raiders.
Yeah, it's not a lot of information on the Jimmy G situation, except that it's...
Walt's a Raiders fan. Do you have any information?
Yeah, except that it's not sounded like he's, doesn't sound like they're rushing him straight back in there.
Walt just yelled, "No, Steve." I don't know what that was about.
Okay.
What did I do?
I don't know, but,
I'm taking the Lions.
Just name a better rivalry, you and Walt.
Me and Walt.
Lions.
The man's up in the algorithm with his
I am also
spewing takes.
Taking the Detroit Lions. I am banking on them to bounce back. And if they
Our
don't,
records
I'll
might
be
look
disappointed.
similar this week.